Hi, welcome to our topic energy conservation and renewable energy solutions. In our previous topic, we studied about water conservation and the techniques to conserve water. We did rainwater harvesting and grey water use. Firstly, I hope when we studied grey water use and I asked you about the aqua purifier systems at your home, you made a resolution to do something about the discharge waters of your aqua purifiers. I hope you did something about that discharge water. Coming today, energy conservation and renewable energy solutions. Energy conservation as a whole could be any energy coming from any resource, whether that resource is renewable, whether that resource is non-renewable, whatever its original is. We today will study about energy conservation because of a simple law of physics that we know, that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only change its forms. And about certain renewable energy solutions. Why would we need to study about renewable energy solutions? Because till date, we are afraid that the resources available to us are depleting. And they are depleting, the rate of use is more than the rate of replenishment. So we need to develop certain solutions, and in this topic I'll be telling you about certain startups, most of them in America, which have come up with solutions with these renewable energy sources of solar, wind, water to make this more sustainable. Our whole course is about sustainable living. So these solutions will also be talking about sustainability. But before that, let's study about energy conservation. Energy conservation, energy utilization, optimum energy utilization. All these terms mean the practice of reducing the use of energy through thoughtful choices and efficient technologies. Thoughtful choices as simple as carpooling, as simple as using a public transport, as simple as bicycling, as simple as not using more lights, fans, ACs when you can sit in one room. Reducing your carbon footprint and also using efficient technologies, one of which these days is electronic vehicles, which is one of it is also the solar panels, which are, well, that I'll come when we teach you about renewable energy solutions. Right now let's focus on energy conservation. In environmental science, it is vital for lowering the greenhouse gas emissions. This is something and this is something I have been telling since the beginning of module number 1. Since we began studying about why we need to study about environment. What are these greenhouse gases? Why do we need to preserve natural resources? Why do we need to maintain ecological balance? All of this is like a thread running through all the modules that you will be studying with me. Because environmental science study is vital, is important, because it not only brings a sense of responsibility in you, a sense of awareness in you, but it also must instill a sense of duty in you to do all this. To do what? To lower the greenhouse gas emissions, to preserve the natural resources, to maintain ecological balance. Coming next, because so many aspects of our daily living requires energy. There's nothing from sitting on your bed at night before you sleep till the next day when you go out for work, you do work, you eat food, you meet your friends, you go out again, you're wearing nice clothes, you go out, you fine dine, you go to a restaurant, you come back home, you have dinner, you turn on the lights, you turn on the fans, you change your clothes. Everything. From as simple as breathing, every little aspect of your daily life requires energy. And because so many aspects of our daily living require energy, conservation of the same can significantly benefit both the individuals and the planet. Now, like I've said before, if not for the environment, if not for the animals, if not for the plants, if not for the flora, fauna, or anything whatsoever, we must conserve energy for our own self. Energy conservation is not just about saving electricity, first of all. बिजली बचाना ही energy conserve करना नहीं है. Energy is myriad in its forms and matters. Energy conservation also includes strategically using heating systems, air conditioning systems, water supplies, and transportation, because energy use is entwined with economic and ecological concerns. Every effort to decrease the wasteful decrease waste of energy can reduce operational costs and protect global ecosystems. And this is what we should be doing ethically, economically, ecologically. Now, what can we do to conserve energy? What we can do to conserve energy? Carpooling. It might sound very repetitive, but the thing is that everything is so effective if done religiously, is why we are emphasizing the need of doing this again and again. Using solar panels, using energy efficient appliances. Some of our inverters, air conditioners, refrigerators, lights, bulbs are not energy efficient appliances. So we must install energy efficient appliances at home, at our workplace, solar panel installation, use public transportation, and please, something as little as turn off electricity use when not in use. These little things, if we do, will help reduce carbon footprint. And when you reduce the carbon footprint, it will help conserve energy. When you conserve the energy, you are going to save the natural resources. When you save the natural resources, there's going to be a biodiversity balance. When there's a biodiversity balance, lesser will be the stress on environment. Once we know why we should conserve energy, how we can conserve energy, it becomes important to learn the new smart energy technique innovations that are present globally. These 5 smart renewable energy innovations are something I studied in a report by the World Economic Forum. I'm presenting the same here. The first is solar and wind power working together. We have often heard of solar panels. It's often installed in various buildings in India as well. In Punjab, I have seen a lot of government buildings that have solar panels installed. And the windmills that we see, they're big blades. I've seen these in desert areas, a few of them, not much really. But what's innovative over here in smart energy, renewable energy innovation is that the solar and wind power are here working together. The solar panels are placed as expected at the rooftop. The sun energy is trapped to them. And here in the same setup, we have solar energy is above, the solar turbine panels. These turbines move on solar energy. So this is a doubly efficient system that has been developed. These turbines that move, so you can see over here, let me clear this up a bit. So these turbines are exactly like the blades on the windmill, right? The air will come, these blades will move, solar panels are installed above. Now let's say this had to generate X amount of energy. This blade will generate Y amount of energy. So this total system more actually doubles the individual effort of each system separately. So these turbine solar panel combinations can be used on rooftops, because those large windmills are actually difficult to install in households, but this can be installed at your rooftops, and this working together would sustain more appliances, have more capacity, therefore reducing the amount of electricity being used. The second is solar canal. This wide, I hope you all know the concept of a canal. They are mostly set up for irrigation to the adjoining field areas. We have the Indira Gandhi Canal. So similarly over here, as you can see, this is a canal. This is water. The water is running beneath. Okay, end that we can see this water running. So the solar canal, it's optimum utilization of space. Optimum utilization of space. Startup by Solar Aqua Grid is a trailing scheme to roof over the canals. Now, it will serve a dual purpose. These canals, the water temperature will not rise because it has a shed over it, which will insulate the heat coming inside the water. And we studied before that the water, when heats up, the oxygen content falls because of that heat. So it will also serve a dual purpose. The water will maintain its natural cool, and the space is being utilized in such a beautiful way that this canal is having solar panels installed on it. The most common obstruction in installing a solar panel is about space. Not everyone's infrastructure allows having big plates of solar panels at their homes or has enough space on the land. So this serves a dual purpose. Here in this picture, in this canal, we can see that it's a scheme to roof over the canals with solar panels generating power and cutting evaporation. This will not only maintain the cool by avoiding the direct sun heat to fall on water, but also prevent evaporation. So how beautiful is this concept? If all the 6,400 kilometers of the state's canals were fitted, this is an estimate from the USA, but it's factual again based on the area and the energy that we are receiving per area, that if 6,400 kilometers of state's canals were fitted in the similar pattern, its forecast is to save 283 billion liters of water a year and generate power for 9.4 million homes. Imagine, imagine the capacity this has. The capacity is good, the conservation is good, the utility is good. Hence, this is one innovative way to save renewable energy solution. Coming next, solar power windows. Like I just said before, that the most biggest issue we face for solar energy catching is where to install such big plates of solar panels. I have 4 plates at home because our terrace does not allow much of that inclined setup and everything. So the space that's being used here is perfect. The next thing is again very ingenious and innovative. What they have done, that we have buildings, we have big MNCs, many offices. The windows in the image above are also solar panels. This, this, this. These are not just window panes. They have installed solar panels in the windows. It's developed by a California-based ubiquitous technology which says it could revolutionize solar power. Solar power, being very honest, is the biggest source of energy we have. It's the most renewable energy resource we have. It's the most available energy resource we have. And if we can come up with such nice solutions and implement them, we can really have a way forward. The glass is treated to allow visible light, what we see. So it's not that you'll put up a panel and it will become opaque and no light will come inside the building. It's designed in such a way that light will also pass through. It's not just going to be opaque and inside is complete darkness. No, and you're just using lights and electricity for the same. No. The glass is going to be treated to allow visible light to pass through it while also absorbing and converting the UV and infrared rays into electricity. This is so ingenious. I think this is something which should be given a lot of boost, which should be given a lot of impetus and should be promoted. This is a very nice solution towards renewable energy. Next, making water from air. With water scarcity, we've studied in our module on water conservation that water scarcity, there was a report by WHO as well that roughly 2 billion people do not have access to clean drinking water, right? So with water scarcity likely to be an issue for 2/3 of the world population by 2025, we are in 2025 as I record this. 2/3 of the world's population. Finding an alternative source is vital. A US startup source is providing one option. It has created an off-grid hydro panel that can turn air into water. Something that has happened in nature since way long, about how water evaporates, condenses into a cloud, the air condenses, and then falls down as water. They have formed an off-grid hydro panel that can do the same. It turns air into water. Fans inside the panels pull water vapor out of the air. So these panels, I'm not sure because the design has not been shared because of confidentiality. These hydro panels, I'm supposing, will have some sort of sucking fans in it which will take in air and pull out the vapor. And when you do something of this sorts in this design, when you suck in the air, you condense it, you pull out the vapor content from it, and you convert it into water. And then this water can be mineralized, ready for use as drinking water. One hydro panel, the hydro panel that they've made, one hydro panel could eliminate the need for 54,000 single-use plastic water bottles. And the lifespan of one hydro panel is over 15 years, so it is sustainable, and it is helping reducing the waste. It's helping in reusing sources of energy, and of course there's nothing recycling happening over there, but if we reduce the plastic contaminants, it's even better. So far, Source has installed panels in 50 countries and has projected underway to provide water in hard to reach areas. Now water, sadly, especially groundwater, is falling. There is scarcity of water. Now when there is groundwater scarcity, projects like these will be very helpful in providing drinking water. Lastly, solar powered public transport. Like I said earlier in our earlier discussions about fossil fuels, coal, oil, and their use, first of all, and then the pollution that is caused upon combustion. The use, the pollution caused will both be, the consumption will fall and the pollution will fall. How? If you first of all use public transport, and then this public transport should also be something which is sustainable. A solar power public transport. Thomas Alva Edison, one of the most important inventors in electric power, himself said, someone who invented something as important as electricity, has said that I would rather put my money on the sun and solar energy. What a source of power, he said. I hope we don't have to wait until oil and coal run out before we tackle that. So someone who was as innovative back in those times to invent electricity, he has said that solar power has huge potential and we must tap onto it. And all these 5 examples we studied today: solar, 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 water from air, again very important, solar power transport. We can see how sun energy, the solar energy, is such a big source of energy available to us. With that, this topic comes to an end. I hope there was something innovative we could take away. I'll see you in the next topic. Thank you.